Hello everyone, I'm Zath and welcome back to my channel for another manga haul video. This manga haul is for the month of July and August. You can check out my previous month's manga haul in the link below. I apologize for pushing July's video into August. I ordered a lot of books, and given the amount of the summer sales going on, but unfortunately I had several damaged books and pushed shipping dates. So while that was not fun, at least this video will be 2 months worth of manga. So now, without further ado, let's get to it. Starting us off this month is a new series I picked up, and that is Siren, Volumes 1 and Volume 2. What made me interested in this series is I saw it compared to Yu Yu Hakusho, and as you probably noticed from all my video backdrops, Yu Yu Hakusho is one of my favorite series. So that's some high praise, and I wanted to read and see just how it held up. And I have to say, I enjoyed the first 2 volumes of the series. While a protagonist is no Yusuke, the storyline is interesting, and so far it's taking its own spin on battle manga with some sci-fi micro psychic powers. The plot starts off when our hero gets drugged into an alternate world via phone call, along with some random people. All you have to do in the world is to answer the phone, which sounds easy, but just getting to the phone doesn't end the game. They have prepaid phone cards that they have to get their balance to 0 to actually leave the cycle that they're stuck in. Which I thought was pretty interesting overall. The artwork I liked so far of it. I like the designs of several the supporting characters too, and our protagonist looks pretty cool. So it's always a good thing. But definitely a good start to a series. I can't say it's as strong as Yu Yu Hakusho's first 2 volumes, but I've enjoyed them nonetheless, and I will be picking up the next volume for sure. Next up, we have Takane and Hana, volumes 8, 9, and the newest volume 10. By now, you all know how much I love this series, and I'm sadly to report that I'm all caught up now, so I'll have no several volumes to read each month, which is sad. But, of course, I'm loving the series. It continues to be hilarious and interesting. I was a little worried on the cliffhanger after Volume 9, but Volume 10 handled it pretty well, so looking forward to Volume 11 when that gets out, because, of course, I will be definitely picking it up. After that, we have Demon Slayer Volume 7. Is it possible that Hindro keeps getting more adorable in each volume? I don't know if that was possible. I love the series. Each character just gets more endearing after each chapter. The supporting cast is absolutely wonderful. If you're not reading this one, you definitely should. And I hear the anime is actually really good of this series. So, another great volume for this. I can't wait to continue reading. Next up, we have Dr. Stone, Volume 6. I'm still enjoying the series and how it explains the most basic things we take for granted via science. However, the cliffhanger it left with, where scientific evolution is at this series, leaves me really questioning how the next experiment is going to be successful. Don't get me wrong, this is still a really good series. I'm just very interested and concerned how they'll go forward. Are we going to do a time skip or whatnot? But I'll be picking up Volume 7 and hopefully have those questions answered. After that, we have Dragon Ball Super Volume 5. I know I said I wasn't going to collect the series fast, but Trunks arc, and there was a Viz sale, and Vegeta is best dad, so. Next up, we have another new series, and that is Overlord Volume 1, Volume 2, and Volume 3. This series caught my eye because it has a pretty unique-looking protagonist, actually. The plot starts out with our standard guy that doesn't really, enjoy the outside world and is a gamer. We've seen 100 of those by this time. But in the last remaining moments of his game, he logs in to his legendary guild, and when the time expires, he's not really logged off the server, and finds out that the NPCs come alive around him, and he's kind of living in the game world, but it's kind of slightly different. So it was a pretty interesting take overall. I did the main character looks straight up like a villain. When I was looking at this cover, I'm is this guy just going to be an arch villain or whatever? But he's actually kind of funny, and the NPCs around him are pretty hilarious, and they're all very different. So I really liked that. I really liked the artwork overall. I thought it was pretty nice. It does have an edge to it because of the content and stuff like that, but overall I really enjoyed it, and I'm interested to see where the story goes, so I will be picking up the next volume of this. Also, this hamster is hilarious. I laughed so hard at this part, so if you're wanting to read this, read volume 2, at least up to volume 2, and this hamster is hilarious. Next we have The Promised Neverland, volume 11. Oh man, this volume is crazy, and it ended the current arc that's been going on, but the ending was very ominous, and I am still concerned how everything's gonna play out. My boy Phil got ranked 4 in the popularity contest in this volume, so that was great. You guys know how I already feel about this series. It's wonderful. If you're not reading it already, what are you waiting for? After that, we have JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, the Part 1 Phantom Blood, Volumes 1, 2, and Volume 3. This is another title that was recommended to me by Atomic Gorilla. I'm probably going to say that name wrong. And to be honest, I 100% thought I was going to hate this series. It is nothing like what I typically read or enjoy overall. It actually took me 2 tries to get into it. The first time I opened the manga and read it and saw the art, I just immediately closed it and just was like, I can't do it. But then I thought, there has to be some reason that this title is so popular and so many people enjoyed it, so I continued reading it. And it turns out I enjoyed it. The story is actually pretty solid and easy to follow. The protagonist, Jojo, has to defeat Dio, who's turned into a basic vampire because of an ancient mask, and prevent him from restoring the world. The artwork is very different. Like I said, it definitely took me by surprise. I wasn't really sure that I was going to be able to push through it, but I actually liked it. Overall, I got into it, and it doesn't bother me. It is very unique, for sure. And I really love these hardbacks. These are some really, really nice hardbacks for that. So I'm always a fan of that, and never enough hardback manga, in my opinion. Overall, the series left me with a feeling of watching a B movie. I really enjoyed the ride, but I wouldn't call it great. It is worth reading, though, and I'm kind of interested to seeing where the story goes, since it is part 1, and given its ending. So I may keep my eye out for the next part of these bizarre adventures, but part 1, I really enjoyed it, so thank you for the recommendation. Next, we have Volume 2 of Snow White and the Red Hair. Still loving this series. Several of you pointed out last month that this manga had a solid anime adaptation, and I know I said I didn't want to watch anime of manga that I'm currently reading, but I couldn't resist, so I binge-watched both series, absolutely loved it, and I'm looking forward to seeing the story unfold in each volume of the manga as it's released. Next, we have The Case Study of Vanitas, Volume 1, Volume 2, 3, and 4. Now, given the size of my haul this month, unfortunately I haven't had a chance to dive into this series yet. I do have a little bit of a backlog at the moment, but I hope I enjoy it, because the artwork looks amazing, and the plot theme combines 2 of my favorite topics for steampunk and vampires, so I hope that this series doesn't disappoint. I'll probably update my Twitter or Instagram with my thoughts on the series when I finally get around to it, so feel free to check out over there for an update. After that, we have one of my favorite manga of all time, and that's Full Metal Alchemist, Volume 1 and 2 of the Full Metal editions. I love these hardbacks from Viz. You all know how much I love hardbacks, and these do not disappoint. They're beautiful. The covers are wonderful. They got colored pages in them. The paper quality is really nice inside of them, too. They look like they're gonna last for a while. I was really torn on what version of the series to get, because they do have the full series in the regular paperbacks, but I'm really glad that I bought these Full Metal editions, because they're wonderful. They look great on the shelf, and I can't say enough good things about them. So if you haven't read the series, or you have and you haven't collected it yet, I definitely recommend, if you have the funds, to get the Full Metal editions, because you will not regret them. Next up, we have another new series, Monster and Beast, Volume 1. I absolutely adored this title. The artwork is fantastic and so cute. It is a BL manga, and the story is about a mysterious middle-aged man named Liam, and a hideous monster named Kavo. Kavo is actually a cinnamon roll who should be protected at all costs, and Liam is a bit eccentric. These two opposites were a joy to watch as they interact, and I was laughing throughout reading it, really. Unfortunately, the ending of the first volume does come at a pretty big cliffhanger, and there's way more questions than answers, but I definitely look forward to picking up the second volume, which I believe releases in November, so can't wait to read that. We'll definitely be picking it up when it's released. Next up, we have The Rising of the Shield Hero, Volumes 2, 3, 4, and 5. I picked up Volume 1 in my last haul, and I really enjoyed it, so when the sale this last month came around, I just had to pick them up, and I'm enjoying them so far. I mean, it has been a little weird in Volume 2. There was a bit of a time skip, and they aged up his partner a bit. She's supposed to be like 10, but now she's got the body of a older woman. But overall, like, the story is maintaining interesting. They're going more of the world building, kind of like the waves that are coming in, more plot. So I am enjoying that. It's been a fun read, short, but I probably will be picking up Volume 6 relatively soon and continuing on with this series. After that, we have My Hero Academia Vigilantes, Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, and Volume 4. This was another recommendation to me from Turtle Comic Review. They said they enjoyed the spin-off series of MHA more, and I have to agree with you. This has been a pretty fun spin-off series. It's actually been pretty strong. I was a little worried that it'd be watered down and kind of just redoing the same things, but I've enjoyed the first few volumes, probably more than the main title one that I had read. It's interesting to see part of the MHA worlds interact into this series and kind of affect it, and just see how it's different and not like the main focus of the series, but you can get like the overall grasp of the worlds. Our main characters don't get fancy quirks or anything like that, kind of like the main series, but they're doing their best with their lot in life. The story is keeping my attention, but I'm very curious to see how everything unfolds. Because Volume 4 kind of ends in a way, so I'm not sure like how they're going to continue it. But interesting to see. I'll probably be picking up Volume 5 to see where that goes, because I definitely enjoy that, so thank you very much for the recommendation. Next up, we have Aharu Ride Volume 3. I wasn't too impressed with the start of this series. Volume 2 did get better, and overall Volume 3 was okay. It has its moments. Overall, I think I enjoy the supporting characters more than the main character. The two mains' romance right now is a little meh and awkward, but hopefully it'll get better. There are strong parts of it, so I think I'm just going to give it some more time. Not really 100% wowed by it, but it's not bad, so I think I'll just give it more time to develop. Next up, we have another new series, and that is Skip Beat, Volume 1. Apparently this is a really long shoujo series. It starts off a bit sad, in a way, as a girl who's in love with a boy from her hometown leaves said town to travel to Tokyo and help him realize his dream of being a famous star. She's basically his slave in the beginning, and works several jobs to keep like a roof over the guy's head and food on the table. And while he's like basically focusing on himself and making it big, which is pretty crappy, but needless to say, one day she finds out that he's basically just using her, and instead of having like this really sad breakdown of all the Ghibli tears in the world, she gets ticked off and vows revenge. It was a pretty funny scene, to be honest, and I admit the first chapter really pulled me in. I'm curious to see how the series will go, given our heroine stepping into the complex, different world from what she's basically known all her life. And because she doesn't have like any training, but I'm curious, and I'll be picking up the next volume for sure, so hopefully it gets better and I'll enjoy it. Next we have My Hero Academia, Volumes 4 and 5. I haven't read these, so they're just for my backlog, but Volume 5's cover is really nice, and there was a sale, so couldn't pass these up, so hopefully when I get to them, I will enjoy them. After that, we have another new series for my collection, and that is Black Clover, Volume 1 and Volume 2. Now, this is another really popular shonen that's from an ongoing series right now. A while back, I did watch a few episodes of the anime, and it started off strong, but then I became very annoyed with the main character, so I dropped it. However, I heard a lot of people liked the manga over the anime, and I decided to give this series another go. Our protagonist, Asta, is a boy who lives in a world where everyone can use magic in some shape or form, and his dream is to become the Wizard King, the strongest magical user in all the land. And, unfortunately, he cannot use magic at all, so that is kind of a setback for that. When anyone in this world uses or comes of age, they get a grimoire and whatnot. So our hero goes through that and kind of gets that, and then he gets a anti-magic sword. The story itself is interesting. There's a lot of it's basic battle manga. The artwork is solid. It's interesting enough. I really like the character designs. They're all very different. So I will probably be picking up the next series because I enjoy this much more than the anime, and hopefully the main character will be much less annoying. And that's going to do it for my July-August haul. Hopefully September books will arrive timely and, more importantly, safely. Thank you all so much for watching and for all the wonderful recommendations. As always, if you have any opinions on these series or any additional recommendations for new series, let me know in the comments below. I'm Zath. Have a good day.